looking at you instead of looking away.
That would be a good idea. No, over here, over here.
He's walking away from us.
Yeah.
Well, we got just a couple more minutes before we get started.
Okay.
Just a little backstory, Mike. Melissa and I closed a house out in Sanger at the beginning of the.
Melisa.
Or Lisa, I'm sorry.
Melisa.
Melisa. So that's why she never returned my call.
I just like to call.
Who's Dave calling for? I don't know who this Melissa is.
I guess we'll wait for Melissa to answer back.
I'm a little embarrassed right now, but not so
I
much.
give everyone a hard time. That means I like you.
So when I was coaching all the kids, I just called everybody "Hey you." So if I slip into "Hey you," that's.
I've been there. I've taken that approach. It's like, hey, how's it going?
Good to see you. I hope somebody else says their name.
Absolutely. Been there, done that.
So I had some horrible connection issues yesterday from the office here. So if I have to pull up stakes or go to my hotspot, if I get dropped out, I'll be right back in. So.
Okay, sounds good. And let's see, Melisa.
I wrote it down on a piece.
Yeah, phonetically, I have to write it out. How do you say your last name? Spolina?
Spolini.
Spolini. Okay.
Spolini.
Just like the ice cream.
Spolini.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. Just about one more minute and it's going to go live.
Okay. I really appreciate you doing this, by the way. I really do. And we're still learning the whole Facebook Live thing. So, as far as getting more and more people to our audience and stuff on how to do that. And, but, certainly we want to promote you and your business and you so people contact you direct and
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
I'm getting a feel for it myself. So yeah, we're all learning at the same time.
I know.
Yeah, it looks like it's here to stay too.
Oh yeah.
I was reading just the other day, there's a lot of businesses, they're starting to just close their buildings. They're getting real small because they only need 1 or 2 people at the office anymore because everybody's working from home.
It's true.
So this is the way it's going to be. Oh well, things are always changing. What are you going to do?
Exactly.
Just change with them or they'll leave you behind.
Correct.
Funny, Mike, I see your background is the sign in our office, and I keep turning around looking for you.
Yeah, I know.
I'm gonna grab a cup of water really quick, okay?
Sure. Yeah, I know. That's why I like that background, because everybody thinks I'm at work.
All right, I'm back.
All right, good. And it should be live by now. So, where'd Dave go?
I still hear
we
you.
all just kind of want to leave,
still
right when
hearing
it goes live. It's a
We're
good
live
time.
and he runs.
We run. It's water time. And
Is that better? Can you see me?
Hey, that looks perfect.
All
All right.
That's lighting behind me.
Welcome, America. We're glad you stepped in today. This is Mike Bustamante right here. Dave Kidder is on the screen here in the blue shirt. And Melisa Spolini?
Yes.
All right.
You got it right. Woo.
He is our guest speaker today. Dave and I are with Keller Williams Realty in Fresno. And Melisa is the founder and the CEO of Edinhart Realty and Design Corporation.
That's
It's,
correct.
it's a long name. And you do quite a bit of home interior right here, and we were hoping you could give us a few ideas on how you actually do it and charge it, and what you're looking for when you go in a house.
Yeah, so we get a lot of different clients. Some of our clients that come to us because they're just looking to remodel, your traditional kitchen or bath remodel. Some of our clients come to us because they want new furnishings and they just need a little help. Other clients are looking for color specifications, so they need help with paint and other items like that. I also get investors that give us a call a lot too, and traditionally they're looking more for ideas on how to get more money for their return as far as their investment property. So they're looking to flip. So we help all kinds of clients across the board. We typically start our charges at $115 an hour for interior design needs. So we have interior designers, interior decorators, stagers, you name it. Accessory stagers are very common to be used by real estate agents when they have a listing and they just want someone to go in there and accessory stage their listing so that it shows better. So yeah, there's all kinds of stuff we do. So you name it.
Now, do you actually have a product that goes in the home? Do you have a big warehouse of stuff that you bring in, or where are you getting your products that you're bringing in?
Yeah, so we have, it depends what level, but yes, we do actually provide the product. So what we do is a lot of times we team up with a photographer, and let's say that this is for a listing. We'll go in and we will team up with either the agent's photographer, or we can provide one as well with a package deal that we offer. And that package is typically $5.99 to the public, but we sometimes give breaks to agents and do it for $3.99. So we do a package that includes basically accessory staging, and what that gives you is an interior decorator goes in, or designer goes into the home of the listing, and they usually call us, the agents say, hey, I have a listing up and running, that I want to get up and running, but I want it to look really nice. So we're going to have a videographer here and we want to make sure it looks great. Can you go in during the time the videographer is going to be there, or during the time our photographer is going to be there, and go ahead and place accessories. Sometimes it's place actual furniture in the home. So there's a beginning level of just accessories for that amount that I just spoke to you about, but then we go up to full on furniture and everything. So we have stagers that are independent contractor stagers that work with us that bring in furnishings and everything, and we have places where we store all kinds of furniture depending on what is needed for the project.
Okay, great. Let me see. You sent me over a couple of photos, I believe, of some stuff you
Yes.
had already done.
Yeah.
Let me see. Let's pop in this kitchen one here. Did that get shared out to you guys?
Okay, let's see which one this is.
Does that
Oh, there
show
we
up
go.
right there?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, so this was actually a client that purchased this home, and she wanted it remodeled and accessorized. So it was from beginning to end with this client, basically.
Oh, wow.
So this home had, pretty average, low base level upgrades when they bought it. The typical traditional oak cabinets with, a lot of carpet that, it was undesirable by many. So she came to us and she said, this is kind of the inspiration that I'm looking at. Help us remodel. So we started with giving her some options for finishes, and we do actually sell a lot of product. So we recommended some finishes. She went with them. She did basically a full house remodel. She herself is actually very talented as well. So we worked with her to get her to the vision that she wanted to get to. And we actually went shopping with her. We did what we call shop with a designer sessions, and we helped her pick out furnishings and everything. So based on what her and her husband wanted. And anyway, so this home ended up in the Central Valley magazine. So we had a 5-page spread here. So it was pretty cool.
So you really get to know these people, then.
Yeah, a lot of times we're working with them for quite a while. Yes, until they're happy. We want to make sure they're happy. So absolutely.
And I think there was this one here. Now, is this the same kitchen? Yeah, it is the same kitchen.
Let's see here. It might be a close-up of it.
This is amazing, by the way. I love that kitchen.
Yeah, that show up there. You got the stove and the,
I think it's still trying to come up. It's probably a close-up of the stove is what I'm thinking. It hasn't fully loaded yet. But
okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I think what you're about to bring up is the backsplash probably. We do a lot of custom backsplash designs. So, it's, you know, it's fun to kind of play around with different designs to customize something to what our clients' needs are. So,
Nice.
so that, I don't know, that didn't really come up on the screen. It looks like maybe it didn't load correctly. Yeah.
All right. Yeah,
I'm guessing that you have quite an array of different contractors and vendors that you work with. If do you have like one or two just really go-to people that can fit the whole array, or do you have so many different specialty things? And I'm thinking, I know some companies work in granite, some other people may have different products that they want to promote that they're better at.
Yeah, so I do have several contractors and several vendors that I work with. So I do like to keep, you know, a handful of contractors available just because it's common for us to get more than, you know, a few projects at a time, and you don't want to keep the clients waiting and waiting around. So, so we've, you know, been happy with quite a few contractors that we've worked with. I have to say there are some that we've been very unhappy with too. So
Sure.
we don't usually, you know, we set those aside. We've learned from which ones are great
Absolutely.
and to work with, and which ones we would, you know, recommend for you. And typically, or what our clients do is they will, you know, they'll reach out to that contractor directly and see if that's a good fit for them. So we're not contractors ourselves, but we do step in as interior designers or interior decorators in the project. So a lot of times we're helping pick out specs and so on. So we do this as well for new homes. So we help a lot of clients with their builder appointment, pick out a lot of selections, because most of the time you get there and they have just a room full of selections, and they're just telling you what's standard and what's medium grade and what's higher end and everything.
Yep.
But you know, they're not there typically to provide you guidance on what looks good together and what packages they would recommend and what would, you know, maybe resell better, or what lasts longer, things like that. So so we're there and we do these appointments for $2.99. We're there for typically about 2.5 hours, kind of giving some guidance on, you know, what we would recommend, what we would do if we were maybe doing that home as a model, but within their budget. So that's keeping a budget is very important.
Right.
So I do, Mike and I both, and I know you do too, probably have handymen and other people that, you know, skilled craftsmen. I need a door hung or something like that. And I'm finding out right now, everybody is completely jammed.
They're pretty booked.
Pretty booked right now.
Everybody.
If I were to call you this afternoon and said, okay, we have this project and we want to be on the market by X day, how much lead time do you need for your typical project? So from start to finish to where it's ready to go?
Yeah, it kind of depends on what the project is, of course. But I have people that are pretty great. We give them a lot of business, and so they tend to get out there pretty fast to do everything. So I have one guy in particular that we've used a lot recently, and you know, he's awesome. He just gets out there if he can the next day, and he provides a bit sometimes that evening, and he's starting a couple days after that. So so it's important to have those good connections, because if you don't, and you don't establish that relationship with contractors and everything, then you get put in the back burner very easily, and they may not start a project for you for a long time. So
if you just want to put his name and number in your chat down here below,
Sure.
no, don't do that.
I'd be happy to share. I'm sure he would like more business.
No, don't do that.
I'm not gonna keep him a secret.
You're so sweet. And you know what that is? I agree with you. If we have somebody that we want to promote their business too,
Yeah.
You know, and yet at the same time, there's an importance that you're bringing him a lot of business that,
Right.
that he needs to promote your business too as well. So that's a great relationship.
Right.
To have.
Absolutely. I think that way we team up and help each other, and I think that's what establishes a great relationship. So.
Did that picture of the kitchen table come up there?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, great. Did you
Yeah.
do the kitchen table and everything, or what did you?
So this is pretty common that happens with stagings. So this is one of the tables we have staged, and we have several stagers, Katrina, Nicole. They work on these kind of projects, and They will set bigger items typically. They will bring furnishings, larger furnishings and everything. And you basically just want to warm up a space and make it look like, you know, a model, but slash, you know, a place that someone can visualize how it could be if they're coming home from work and they want to have a nice dinner. So, so that's why we go into the details of the napkins and, you know, when you see the plates and everything there, we're trying to paint a picture of what it could be like to come home to that house in particular. And I think what we do takes it from a regular house that people visualize into what it could be their home. So, and that can be a defining difference between them making an offer on a house or not. So.
Right.
And it's very nice work you do.
Yeah. Now,
I have a wonderful team of people that do a lot of work, trust me. Yes.
How far out do you go? Fresno, Clovis, Madera, how far?
Well, we've been, you know, we actually do all of California. We do have fee charges. So it depends on, you know, travel charges that might be implemented if we go out quite a bit. So, but yeah, we have done projects outside of the Central Valley area. So, so we do a lot more in LA. We actually have some designers in LA. So, you know, so that's part of, you know, some of the stagings that we take on and projects and everything over there. So.
Very nice. Very nice.
Yeah.
I like that. Oh yeah, that's yeah, because we do. I'm sure you've been into a lot of homes too, and it's like just some of these vacant homes could just use just some small minor stuff to really help, and they just don't know what they're doing. I see them go by like a white towel and hang it in the bathroom. It's like, well, you could do a little bit more. You need a little help.
Yeah.
Glad, you know, you're out there and we'll do smaller projects as well. You know, you're not looking for multi-million-dollar deals all the time.
Yeah, and no, and to be honest, I get most of my clients are not going to be millionaires. You know, I think people have this vision of, you know, the interior designers are only hired by people that are rich and people that, you know, but that's not the case. A lot of my clients are going to be in a, you know, very traditional 250,000, you know, 300,000 home. Yes, we do, you know, 500, 600, 700 homes as well. But I would say, you know, what we want to do is be available to anyone that needs us. And in many cases, we can actually share discounts that pay a lot of our fees back. So it kind of it's pretty cool because some of our discounts we pass along will kind of take care of some of the fees we would charge. So, you know, when it can do that, why not hire an expert to be by your side and you know, give you some advice
Nice.
on, you know, trying to avoid large mistakes that can actually cost you a lot more.
So I've had several appointments in the last couple of weeks, and the question keeps coming out: what do we need to do to bring the most amount of value for the least amount of money? And I always kind of focus on, well, your landscaping is so important. Declutter the house. I mean, this is from a guy's perspective. Declutter the house.
Those are great points. Absolutely.
You know, get rid of as much, nothing personal on the walls. But when it comes to color coordination and everything else, my go-to has been, well, let's take a trip over to the new builders, because
Yeah.
Right.
you know, builders spend, and I always say builders spend billions of dollars to figure out what it is that we like when we walk in there. And now I just realized we don't need to spend billions of dollars. We have you now. So,
Yeah, just ask me.
so I've already saved the money. But, you know, so I guess my question is far-reaching as far as when you're talking to a typical client, is there something else that you say this will bring the biggest impact if you do these 2 or 3 things, if you're on a limited budget?
Okay, so yes, you hit a really good, some really good ideas that those I give as well. You know, I always tell them, if, like, let's say you're looking to list your home, yeah, you definitely want to have those pictures done the day after, you know, they've trimmed their yard and, you know, all that stuff. They've decluttered and, like you mentioned, you know, take down personal pictures. Those are all very, very important. But I would say, look at the paint color on the walls. You'd be surprised how many homes go unsold because of the paint color on the walls.
Yeah.
So It's crazy, but a lot of people cannot visualize past that orange paint on the walls or past the green paint on the walls. And
Yeah.
it's something so simple. Yeah, it's, you know, it can be changed. Most homes can have a new interior paint with $3,500 or $4,000, you know, max, if
Mhm.
it's pretty, you know, I would say for interiors, you know. So it makes, but that if it's the wrong color, it can keep a lot of people from making the right offer to you. You might be getting lowballed with offers, you know. So and those become great buying opportunities because people can't visualize past color. So I
Absolutely.
would say with color, you want to always look at the color on the baseboards. It's always ideal if the baseboards are, I would say, a white or, you know, a slight off-white, and you have a very light gray, but a warmer tone of gray on the walls, a light, warmer tone of gray on the walls. So that seems to be a very nice standard that most are actually very open and comfortable with. And so most of the time when a home has those tones, you know, a buyer feels like it's fresh and you know, it's revived, and so that's a good thing to think about. And there's several shades within that will work, but just keep that in mind. A light, warm gray. Don't go with a cool gray that has a lot of blue tones and it'll make a lot of people feel uncomfortable. If you go with a warm gray, it'll be your best bet, and it'll also go with most tile choices and everything. So it's kind of the best of in between as far as color. So.
I was afraid you were going to say burnt orange is making a comeback.
Oh yeah, you didn't get the memo.
Oh, man.
It actually works in very few situations, and you have to be really good with color to make that work. I'll tell you, I actually have burnt orange drapes in one of my guest rooms. So, and it actually looks great. I teamed it up with a navy blue and a crisp white, and
Oh, there you go.
it's kind of a yeah, it's a different kind of boho vibe, you can say. So it looks really cool, but you don't want it on the walls,
No,
especially if you're selling a home.
No.
So yeah.
Right.
You
You've
might
already-
I don't
go
know if you
ahead.
have one of the pictures that I sent you, but there's a great example of how to use color in a different kind of setting. So I don't know if you have that one or not, but
Which
it's a sitting room picture.
waiting room?
Waiting room, yes.
All right. And where did it go? Is it right there? Right there?
Let's see if it comes up. There we go. Okay. So this is the Edinhart waiting room where we have our guests wait, you know. So this is actually an example of how I actually like color. I like to use color, and it's, you know, it's one of those things that it requires kind of an art, because you have to just put yourself out there. And you know, something like this you might see more in a hotel setting, you know, definitely more on a commercial side. But notice how this is actually a purple tone on the walls, and then we have some gold tableau, and we do sell tableau like that. That's commercial grade. And a green sofa, as you can see, with a gold coffee table and black and white stripe on the opposite wall with a luxury vinyl on the floor. So this is one of the small rooms. I just did this in a small section. I wouldn't do this everywhere, but you know, but it's fun to actually be able to use color and make it work just visually. So we actually won an award, a national award, for this little room here. So you know, sometimes it takes a little bit of a you know, some guts basically to put some color and use it right. So, but it's really fun when you do, because it makes a space very, very unique. So, but I wouldn't recommend it if you're selling a home. This is more for if you're trying to just make a very unique space. So.
Very nice.
So I don't want to divert too much, but
Sure.
do you use any kind of design software to be able to help cast a vision for like me, who I may not, I know what I like when I see it, but I may not know how to get to that point. Do you use any kind of design software in your business?
Yes, yeah, we use quite a few different ones actually. I'm not in charge of that portion of it. I do have background in AutoCAD myself, but we actually have a lot of other new programs that have come out later on since AutoCAD and Rivet and many others that are used. So so I have interior designers that actually focus on that. Each one of our designers, it typically has a strength, and so based on the client's needs, we typically kind of assign that interior designer or recommend that designer because of her strengths. So some have strengths with that, and they may be really good with putting floor plans together, and others are really good with 3D presentations and everything. So but yes, there are several really great programs that have come out recently. So
Cool. Good to hear.
last few years.
Okay. Well, that sounds like you covered more than I thought you were going to cover. So that is fantastic. I appreciate it.
So
Absolutely.
we want to make sure that people have your contact information, but also, is there something else that you think that we should know? You're talking to two guys here that, well, we got dressed today, and Mike, you look pretty sharp today, but there are some days. There are some days I get stopped at the door and say, those two blues don't go together. So, is there something that you'd like to, maybe that you feel like we should know about you or should know about the real estate market right now, that what you do is going to help us?
Sure. I actually am putting together something very soon that should actually be able to help a lot of agents when it comes to accessory staging. And I don't have anything, I don't want to say too much right now, but I would just say follow me on social media, and I will make sure to release more info later. We actually did release an e-commerce website for interior design. If you are looking at more information for interior design, it's interiordesigns2go.com. And that is our e-commerce website. We do sell a lot of furniture, and we what's great about it though is that we have a lot of interior designers, decorators, landscape designers. We have architects, and across the nation in quite a few different states actually. So you can actually go on that website, interiordesigns2go.com, and book an interior designer, whether locally or you can do it across several other states. So you can go on the website, and this is where we're going to be releasing something kind of big very soon. So.
Way cool. Well, we're anxious to be a follower there. That's so cool. That's so
awesome.
So your projects run all the way from less expensive homes all the way up to the multi-billion-dollar homes, and no project is too big or too small for you.
Well, I'm still on the lookout for the multi-billion-dollar home.
So am I.
But I will not turn it down.
Okay. Way cool. So again, we're going to get your information out. It's going to be on that. As soon as it goes live, we'll make sure you have the link. And I so appreciate it. And we need to get another deal together. I enjoyed
Absolutely.
our last.
It was great working with you.
It was.
You're awesome.
Well, thank you so much. And and the nice thing about real estate is it's going to be challenging no matter what, but you need people on both sides who take the challenges out, and we have
absolutely.
That, so I appreciate that.
Absolutely.
So, anyway, I so appreciate you being here, and
my pleasure.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. All right. Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you, Michael.
All right, guys. Thank you. See you later.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.